This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code SOUTHGATE to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Listen to Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome once again to Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie the Professor Esser. With me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pitts.
Phil and Perich.
That's the guy. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the show. All right. I was talking fast because we got a lot to cover and very precious little time to do it in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's open it up. Okay. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week. The Deke Squad.
You mean the totally excellent adventures of Mac and the D?
Yes, Mac and the D. Because you need the D when you got the Mac. I felt cheated that we got our War Games opening, not a cool 80s Deke Squad intro. I am imagining that next week we're going to get that 80s Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. intro, you know, and they're going to be like, there's a group of humans and inhumans who are out to save the universe. If you need their help and you can find them, look for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, but we just got the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. scrawl, which, to me, it was very War Gamesy.
Yeah.
Which I get what they were doing there, but it was like, that's too dang subtle, man. That's not the 80s. But I guess they wanted to center on the robots.
Yep.
And the games they play. Because this was amazing. This was awesome, as it always is. I mean, this is what I'll say about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Since the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., once they told them this is the end, they're like, great, bring it.
Yep.
I think every season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they should just say, we should have one more season, but this one will really be the last. Because they just put it all out there. They blow it all on the table. They don't give no shotgun axes. And we get a chrome shotgun axe in this one.
Yes.
I am certain Master Doom would approve. It's pretty great. We open up with, of course, the lonely nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Our lonely computer nerd, whose job is now fixing computers, which, makes sense if you're a computer nerd. And, what it is, it's like you have the knowledge and the skill, but you don't have the imagination to create something new.
Yeah.
Or the drive to market something new. So maybe he's got, heck, he built super advanced robot tech for Sybil. Because Sybil reaches out to him. And Sybil, not for nothing, knows who she's dealing with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, was that kind of, to bring it back to the 80s, was that kind of like, weird science if it had gone horribly wrong?
Well, it was a lot of things that had gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, the low-res photograph of a female.
Well, you had that dot printer.
Thank God it wasn't a daisy wheel. That's all I'm going to say. I remember daisy wheel printers. Those were obsolete upon inception. Obsolete upon inception. There we go. That's the drop. But no, and it's like, this is what I always look like. I am a female. And I am fully functional, I suppose. Oh, that's what I forgot to talk about in Doom Patrol.
What?
Victor Stone is fully functional.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had a bet on that, yeah.
They had a... Technically, Cliff said it was an unspoken bet we had.
Oh, yeah.
We was like, are you just saying you were wondering if I had... if I was fully functional? Suffice it to say, yes. He is fully functional. And along those lines, because it was called the Finger Patrol.
Yes.
The reference in that is that there's a finger on the drawing, and Darn it if Cliff doesn't get him a finger.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but so that's Doom Patrol. we talk of the Doom Patrol at length over on Capes and Lunatics. Scroll up, down, left, right, somewhere. Scroll around, you'll find it. The last one, and we talk about that. Look in the show notes, you'll see us saying Doom Patrol. But yes, we're in the end game now. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So Sybil gets her little geek there, and we get Brothormac. Who just sits in his room and drinks beer
and makes models.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have internet. They didn't have internet gaming back then. So he made little car models. It was cute. Although I gotta say this, they have him go from Brothormac to just regular ripped Mac by changing his shirt. Which, granted, okay.
He was wearing baggy clothes.
Yeah, it's well, really should have worked like that, but it worked out okay. I like the, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universe, but there's a big question in all of this. Well, in 76, Stoner meets Mac.
Yeah.
So it's at any time they could have reached out to Stoner.
Mm-hmm.
They could have said, and it makes me wonder if maybe that's because Deke's in the lighthouse. So maybe Deke actually did reach out to Stoner and say, look, I want to create this covert ops. I was with them, I know these guys, and basically gave him enough details to allow Stoner to say, okay, I'll allow it. You get no funding, but you can use the lighthouse, And then he builds his little Deke squad with his team. Of course, that assumes that S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't immediately disband after they found out that Hydra had influenced S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Because we do know that now Stoner knows that, and the threads have been pulled. It's a different timeline now. So we're in that different timeline, and where we go from here is the real interesting questions. But, yeah, so that's interesting in and of itself. And, yeah, but I love Olga. I love the Chang Gang.
Yeah.
Chang Gang. And Roxy Glass, who I get the feeling kind of was the brains of the outfit.
Yeah, kind of like it.
She seemed way more on the ball than anyone would give her credit for. Kind of like our what's her name, Miss Simpson from Superman 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just way more smart than you think, and because you're seeing her in the way you are, you don't see it. But Deke, being a genius himself, totally knows. No, she's a genius. Trust me.
I mean, and it's funny. It's what about Cricket? Why's Cricket on the team? Oh, he's got a full-time job. He sells Coke, but I never see him drink it.
That was good, yes. So you had to reach out to a shady guy named Cricket to find you. So who says, and it's well, we mostly just needed a drummer. So isn't Cricket the guy who told me was shady? He's yeah, but that was before I found out he had a full-time job selling Coke. He says, but I never, it's because it's wacky because he doesn't know what Coke is.
And he's from the future.
He's from the future, and what's funny? To me, this is the best part of this. So remember when we were talking about, Phil Coulson, he's LMD Coulson, but he also believes he's alive. And we said that's such a parallel to, Max Fury when, Fury LMD became sentient, but was also allowed to live. And he decided to call himself Max Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized we get Max Coulson in this.
Oh.
Because he's Max Headroom as Coulson.
Nice.
And it's oh my gosh, they took my idea and took it up a notch. And it's and this is why, even though we don't know who the big bad, although I have a theory on who the big bad of the next phase of the Marvel Universe is, and I realized who it is. And you don't even realize it until Far From Home. Who was in the first Iron Man that was in Far From Home?
What's the scientist dude?
We don't know. That scientist dude. He has a name, I'm sure.
The one Stain yells at. Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Yeah, exactly. That guy is the big bad of phase, 4 or 5?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't see it now, but you're gonna. That guy is going to be in every major thing. He is going to be building and building and building his little scrap paper army. Maybe he's Dr. Octopus. Maybe he's the Wingless Wizard. Maybe he's going to be something other that we haven't even thought of. And then we go, oh, that's going to be the big bad.
I mean, in the comics,
maybe he's Mephisto. I don't know.
I mean, in the comics, for a while, everyone thought Quentin Beck was dead and someone else took over as Mysterio.
Well, yeah, and honestly, making Mysterio be the big bad of the next phase of the Marvel Universe might well be interesting. But I do love the idea of a tech-based villain who really is going to find a way to be in the background and exploit everything that you're overlooking.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I realized that because that was the thing I realized, like, oh, we don't have a big bad yet. And of course, it took all that time to build out Thanos with multiple movies. And it's like, well, do we have any? Do we have anyone to replace Thanos? And I realized, well, you know what? Who is a villain who we've been seeing since Iron Man 1? That dude. And to have this little mousy guy become a major villain in the Marvel Universe to take on some mantle. Because that's the thing, he doesn't even have to have his own mantle. It doesn't have to be anyone we've met before. But he just has to be a guy who's going to be... You know who he actually kind of looks like? Remember the Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends where they meet Dr. Doom? And the guy gets the wishing rock?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of looks like that guy. So,
I mean, you could have a Cabal, because I've seen there was an article somewhere saying, we only saw Justin Hammer once. He's still, he might be in prison, but he's still out there.
Yeah, we haven't seen Norman Osborn. We know D'Onofrio's out there. And he is itching to put on that suit again.
And I saw another article. I can't remember if it was CBR or not, but they're like, hey, you know what? That Iron Man suit could gain sentience. The one he was wearing when he snapped.
Yeah. Oh, anything's possible. And, not for nothing. I was just thinking. Well, yeah, I mean, you have this idea of, that's what I was going to think. We have Zemo out there still. Which means we could have a Masters of Evil plot.
Oh, yeah, Zemo's shown up in Falcon and Winter
And there is a somewhat cosmically charged Red Skull looking for a day job.
Mm-hmm.
Who, oh, man. You know who the big bad of the next phase of the Marvel Universe is?
Who, the Red Skull?
No. Steve Rogers.
Oh!
Because he had to go back, and they met. And that goes to the idea of Cap in the Soul Stone with Peggy at the end. And Red Skull taking his body.
Oh, my
and
Lord.
And going back.
You thought it blew up the world when it was in the comic books. What if we get an end credit with Steve Rogers that go and hail Hydra?
Dad. Oh, my gosh.
Dad. There's actually a comic book where Captain America was secretly a Hydra agent.
That's what Phil just said, yes. Great minds think alike. Yeah, so, I mean, that could be our big bad.
Oh, yeah.
And we, that's the thing. You got to look for... Here's the thing. They gave us Thanos front and center in Avengers. They put him there. Whoever's going to be next has to be something that's more in the background. And it kind of strikes me as interesting that we've had a couple of kind of super scientist kind of villains lately. I mean, when you think about, Dr. Doom's out there. Dr. Doom could be the big bad, especially if he's working with that guy. And he also kind of looks a little bit like, who was that? Otto, who was actually He's actually the Tomorrow Man.
No.
Back in time to steal technology. Because why would you go back in time to steal technology? That was the weirdest thing about the Tomorrow Man. Goes back in time to steal an atom bomb that was being tested on Thor. It's like, they don't have atom bombs in the future?
Maybe if it's peaceful, maybe they stop making weapons or something, yeah.
But, the technology's there. I'm just saying. Okay, who do you think? Tristan is going to tell us who he thinks the big bad of the next phase of the Marvel Universe will be. Yes.
I have 3 choices.
3 choices.
It might be Magma Man, Red Hook, or Galactus.
Magma Man, Red Hook?
Red Hulk.
Oh, Red Hulk or Galactus. So Magma Man, Red Hulk, or Galactus is Tristan's. So who's Magma Man? You mean Molten Man? Molten Man. Okay.
I mean, he
Fair
might show up in the next Spider-Man, but
Yeah.
he usually isn't too big of a.
Yeah.
I mean, Galactus. I could see Galactus coming in. Once we get Fantastic Four.
See, the problem with Galactus is Galactus isn't really a villain.
No, he's just.
That's the thing. He is the cosmic equivalent of a hurricane.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
Actually, what if we have Galactus defeat the big bad?
Oh well, that would be interesting. Galactus defeats the big bad. Oh, what if Galactus ate Vormir?
Oh, jeez.
That's a story for you. Oh, that's how Steve gets out of the gem.
Oh, jeez.
Because Galactus eats Vormir and takes the gem. And then has the power of the soul gem. And there's something there. I don't know. But
I mean, if we're gonna have X-Men eventually, what like a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or something.
Yeah, and I think the idea of a worldwide threat might be an interesting take on it. Because, that's the thing. It's like Imperial threats like the Kree, like the Skrulls, they're big and they're scary. But the fact of the matter is that Earth, first off, is too much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Earth is kind of the Ethiopia of the galaxy.
Yeah.
In the fact that you can't conquer it. It's a death world filled with mighty warriors. You're going to try and conquer it. You're going to get your butt handed to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Afghanistan. It is the graveyard of empires. Don't pick a fight with Ethiopia. Don't pick a fight with now Ethiopia, of course, likewise also has a lot of internal struggle, but still, despite all of its internal struggle, has never been conquered by a colonial power. That's like Ethiopia's big one, and it's a pretty impressive one when you consider all of Africa has been a colonial vassal at some point, except for Ethiopia. And then you have Afghanistan, who's just, like I said, the death of empires.
I mean, we could get Red Hulk somewhere because isn't Ross supposed to be in Black Widow? And again, I mean, we saw where there's like headlines, Scarlett Johansson hands the baton to Florence Pugh. I think that's who it is.
Yes, so that is an interesting thing.
I think I figured out the plot of the movie. So here, mark my words. The movie's going to open up. It's going to be Natasha's funeral, and you're going to see that new girl there, and then she's gonna I don't know, daydream or whatever. They're gonna have a flashback to whatever point, and at some point during this adventure, Natasha's gonna inspire this new woman, and she's gonna be like, well, how do I? It's gonna be something like, how am I gonna know when how to be a hero? Oh, when it's time, you'll know. And then at the end of the movie, it'd just be her like swearing an oath over Natasha's grave. It's like, I will take your place, or however they dress it up.
I think she's gonna look at her and say, 2 or 3 times. That's all it takes. Everyone thinks you got to get up in the morning, you got to brush your teeth as a hero. But no, it's 2. As you can say, isn't that from Deadpool? She's going to go, yes, but it's still true.
That's kind of derivative. But no, that's what I'm saying. The whole point of that movie is going to be her inspiring this new, in a flashback, inspiring this new one.
Well, I mean, that's one theory. The other theory is that, they did the face swap. That actually was B'Elanna who died, not or B'Elanna kept ScarJo's face, or whatever we see, and it could also be that Scarlett Jo she got her movie, and now she's willing to walk away.
Yeah,
it might be like I don't want to keep, because not for nothing, it's hard to jump on people with your leg and flip them over your back. Even if freaking Chris Evans is like saying, I'm getting too old for this stuff. ScarJo is like, yeah, you and me both, brother.
Well, I kind of thought that. I think the contracts were up around that time, but I'm kind of thinking that Endgame was like they went to that original cast and they're like, okay, who wants out? I mean, we'll rate you out. Here's the time. You went written out. Let's do it now.
Yep. And Thor's the Joey. Like, I'm going to Hollywood. Thor is the Joey. He gets the spinoff, man, but he's going to be better than. Actually, I like Joey. Joey's actually a really lovable sitcom. And I do agree with people who say it's very disconnected from Friends.
Yeah.
But it is a fun, good sitcom in its own right as well. And they better keep it canon when they do the Friends reunion. That's all I'm saying right now.
I mean, is Thor going to be like a new connective character? Because he's probably going to watch. He'll probably be in Guardians. He'll probably be in that new Thor movie with Jane Foster. So I
would imagine he is in the Thor movie because he ain't dead.
I know that's what I'm saying. He's probably going to be in Guardians too. So he's he's probably going to be a connective thing on that cosmic side.
Yeah, he's going to be, and he's going to be the All Father now.
Yeah.
And which leads to that idea that Loki's the new big bad, because of course Loki is the villain. But oh my gosh,
they're gonna thunderstrike Jane Foster. He's gonna be like, oh, Earth still needs a hero, and he's gonna like rebuild that hammer and give it to Jane.
Ooh, that would be cool. I'm actually thinking, because I'm trying to think of who that little mousy scientist's name was.
What, the one from
Iron Man? Because could he be Nathaniel Richards? Could he be?
I thought they gave him a last name or something, but
I'm sure they did. But but it could also be he's going to run into Kang. That's the thing. It's like all these things, but there could have been influences going far deeper than we know.
I mean, unless he was faking it, I don't see that guy. I mean, Nathaniel Richards would seem more confident to me.
Not necessarily, especially if he's playing the long game. That's the thing. It's like if you're playing the long game, you can do anything. Oh,
yeah, but Far From Home wasn't it in conjunction with Sony? So would they let them have any piece of Fantastic Four though?
Well, no, because that character originally appeared in Iron Man, so he was on loan from Marvel Studios.
Oh, true, yes.
So that's why he's a perfect guy to dance around the universes, because he is actually a wholly owned Marvel character.
Oh, you know who else he could? I mean, it was a different name unless he was working under a fake name. For a big bad, you know who else they introduced a few years ago in Iron Man?
Who?
The son of Obadiah Stane.
Oh.
I mean, he was basically experimenting on himself with all this tech and stuff, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Him. He had hair though.
Yeah.
But no, I love that character, and I do think he could be someone important. I don't know what role he's going to be, and that might be it. Maybe it's just we're going to see, much like we saw in Far From Home, that it's all these henchmen are kind of getting together, and along that henchman line, could there be something with Taskmaster in that?
Maybe. I mean, instead of like a Spider-Man Sinister Six, are they going to build like a whole universe Villainous Six or something?
Oh man! Or you know who could be a big bad that they've already introduced?
Huh?
And you won't even think about it until I say it. Baron Mordo.
Oh yeah, because he was swearing revenge on Doctor Strange after that first movie.
And he's hyper cosmic level. He can bring in any other number of powers to have, and may also see the advantage of building out allies throughout other worlds within that corrupted human world.
Are we gonna do like a Dark Avengers or something where like you have like evil doubles that like Mordo will be their Doctor Strange and stuff, and
we might see that. I mean, we know we have a Ross, and we could get a Red Hulk because the leader is out there. And we do have, and I will swear this, Ty Burrell was looking very buffed up. I'm going to say this. He was wearing lots of bulky sweaters. I'm just saying it. Ty Burrell was looking really buff that last season of Modern Family.
Yeah.
So.
But what if they do a reverse and it's like, if they do a Dark Avengers, like you see that, that Iron Patriot armor come in, and that's the first time you see Norman leading the Dark Avengers.
Well, actually,
he's like a government contractor guy, but like eventually once he's defeated, he goes off the deep end, and that's when he becomes the Green Goblin.
Or I'm going to give you one better. Do you know who else had an Iron Patriot style armor? before the Iron Patriot.
Was that Frank Cat? Oh wait, no.
No. Way back. Gotta go way back to when a certain serum was breaking down in his system the first time.
Oh, Steve Rogers?
Steve Rogers, and Iron Man made him an Iron Patriot armor, which he used when he was Old Man Steve to fight Superior Iron Man at the end of the world, of the story that never got a resolution. Which is what I love about that story. It's like Old Man Steve came back. He's still Old Man Steve. Tony Stark come back. He's not Superior Tony Stark no more.
Yeah.
What happened to Superior's Tony Stark? So yeah, there are so many big bads out there that they could bring back. But here's the thing. So we have an Old Man Steve Rogers. We have an Iron Patriot armor that would allow him to continue on superheroing with Chris Evans not having to show up for work a lot.
You don't show his face. All you need is his voice.
Exactly. Just to flip up every so often to show that he's Old Man Steve Rogers. But you also then have it actually be Red Skull's mind in him. Brilliance. That would be brilliance.
What if that's the shock twist of Falcon and Winter Soldier? That wasn't Steve who gave Falcon the shield. It was the Red Skull.
Yeah. Would also explain, why he's not showing back up in the time travel.
And for everyone who said, "Oh, Steve Rogers was selfish for going back and doing that," it wasn't Steve.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But you think about it, that makes perfect sense now. So Steve goes and he doesn't come back because when Red Skull sees him and he's bringing back the Soul Stone, and it's tense, but Red Skull's like, "No, Steve and I have evolved. I'm not that person anymore. Why don't you? But the Soul Stone has many other things that it could do. Here is Peggy. Why don't you go have a dance?" And while his mind is in the Soul Stone, little astral Red Skull slips right in. Says, "Now how the heck do I get back to Earth?" And 10 years later, whatever it is, he gets back to Earth at that point to...
Oh my God. You know how many movies they can milk that for? It's like, the hunt for Steve Rogers, the real Steve Rogers.
Or just the idea, search for Spock. Or just the idea that, Steve Rogers the whole time is... So that's why, and Chris Evans has said he misses playing Captain America. I get the feeling sometimes the way Disney plays these things might not be as obvious as they seem. So
yeah,
that's my take on it, and I'm really looking forward to see what the heck.
And if you get a couple movies out of that hunt, it's like, okay, yeah, it's Chris. We're going to need you to bulk up in say 5 or 10 years. So just be ready.
Yeah, well, or whatever. Yeah. Or we're just going to recast you as somebody else. But what I'm going to say on all of that is, I was right. Even though apparently it wasn't official until just now, they did push back Falcon and Winter Soldier, or as I like to call it, the Cap and Bucky show. That Cap got pushed to fall 2020 from August 2020. Because August is still summer. Fall 2020 means at least September, probably late September, maybe October or November. And possibly after because as I also pointed out, fall goes actually technically into December 20th.
Yeah.
December 20th is actually the end of fall.
But I don't know, entertainment wise, do they call December the fall? Because isn't that in the movies, it's that's their Christmas season,
Well, yeah, but honestly, they're just saying what season it's falling in.
Yeah. But because here's the list. It was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is currently running, ends August 19th. Charlie Esser. Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, fall 2020. I find that weird that Falcon and Winter Soldier comes before WandaVision, but WandaVision, they're December 2020. It's locked in, but Falcon and Winter Soldier just says fall.
Which is why I think that they're saying fall, because it's actually late November. They don't want to highlight that it's late November because it is late November.
Or unless they're just I'll give us some wiggle room in case we have to push something back, push it back a little bit.
Yeah, but that's why I think it actually is whatever is going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be tied to what we see in Natasha.
Black Widow. Yeah.
Black Widow. I wouldn't be surprised if someone goes crazy and just bumps Natasha up early.
I just wonder if it's just like some little thing little bit something in Falcon Winter Soldier where they announce like the new Black Widow or whatever. They mention her somehow, so maybe that's just something like that.
Or the new Alania shows up because we do know that we're getting Agent 13 in it.
Yes.
So you could have some blonde on blonde action there, you know.
Whoa.
Have a female super spy. You got to get another female super spy in there to hit her.
But yeah, and then it's a Hellstrom to be announced 2020, sometime in 2020. But they're just saying
that's why I think Hellstrom might be the one that we get early. They may drop Hellstrom in. Was Hellstrom Hulu or is it going to be Disney Plus? Do we know?
I thought it was supposed to be Hulu. I thought which I found weird because I thought they were supposed to do Hellstrom and Ghost Rider over there, but then they canceled Ghost Rider.
Yeah, but maybe they're integrating Ghost Rider into Hellstrom.
Maybe, yeah. But then I guess Loki spring 2021, What If summer 2021, Hawkeye fall 2021.
Yeah.
MODOK,
which is getting closer with every day.
Oh yeah, MODOK, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk all to be announced.
Yes, and when's Eternals coming out?
It was.
Does that have a date yet?
Yeah, wasn't it like? Well, it was supposed to be. The date that Black Widow took over, that was supposed to be Eternal. So now I think they're like early 20. Here, I'll look it up. I think it was, but wasn't it supposed to be like
early 2021? Yeah,
2021. Yeah.
That's fine. I'm actually looking forward to Eternals. I think it's going to be what Inhumans should have been. And you know, Inhumans.
Yeah, February 12th, 2021.
I tried to rewatch it because it is on Disney Plus. I'm saying, I'll put it on in the background. I'll let it play. Maybe a good scene. I'll go, oh, wow, that was a good scene. Nope. It is just unwatchable.
Oh, yeah?
Unwatchable.
I keep forgetting about this. Besides, like, all the Eternals who were in the Eternals movie, you know who else is in the Eternals movie? I keep forgetting. Black Knight.
Oh, yeah, Black Knight. Yes. Another man out of time.
Yep. But, yeah.
And he's got a horse with wings. So... Winged horse. Oh, actually, that's Valkyrie's winged horse. So, I have to see how he gets that horse away from Valkyrie. Or maybe that'll be a tie-in.
Well, I mean, she might not be doing much heroing. I mean, if she's isn't she running that new Asgard on Earth or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, that's another aspect of it. Yeah. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was cool. Death Robots, watch it. Turn into Enough Said, because we'll be reviewing it tomorrow, me and Maz.
I love the pure 80s. All the robots, did you see what their optic sensors were?
Oh, yeah, they got the Cylon Raiders. Or you're thinking Kit.
I was thinking Kit, because I swear I thought it made the same noise, too.
Well, that's also what the Cylon Raiders did.
Well, pure 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Phil is a young fellow. He doesn't know about the Cylon Raiders and how they would attack.
But like, I guess
Cylon Raiders attack
because it's like a 10 o'clock show. But I was surprised the amount of blood we got in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We got a lot of blood. Well, they were going for that 80s gore.
I know, but they had like the mousy guy you were talking about, like the thing going through his chest.
I know they were doing Driller Killer, man.
I know.
Slumber Party Massacre. That's
surprised we got it.
I mean, it was shocking. But I wasn't surprised because, that would totally be if this was an 80s film.
Oh, yeah.
80s cinema, that's exactly what you would have expected to get. So, yeah. So I totally got that and I totally felt that. So, and I liked that about it, I mean, I won't say I liked it because I don't really like gore. Gore to me is usually, first of all, I find gore kind of just to be overdone and kind of redundant.
Yeah, but you liked it for the nostalgia because it was like an 80s.
Well, honestly, and that's the thing is like it's not really 80s nostalgia because there's way more. It is the level of blood you see in an 80s nostalgia piece.
But I think the way they did it was kind of 80s,
I mean, yeah. What I'll say is what it comes down to is the way that actual 80s films were not as gory as people think they were.
Yeah.
But then other things that built off of those premises leaned into the gore. And then a lot of modern gore claims that 80s aesthetic, even though, because 80s was the rise of the slasher flick.
Yes.
But there is not a drop of blood in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. People don't know that. People forget that. But that was because they couldn't afford blood. The people making these films couldn't afford blood. Do you have any idea how expensive fake blood is?
Oh, but I didn't even think of it before. Cricket and that girl were messing around when he gets killed.
Oh, yeah.
That's like an 80s slasher.
That is absolute.
Yeah.
That's what the point was. They were it's like, oh, what is the thing? You know, who's keeping on us? Don't make me come over there. That was meant to be. That was what they were doing. It was a stylistic homage. It was a style parody, and it was great. I love Olga. We just have to say, and Olga survived, which was actually kind of interesting because it meant those ray beams they were shooting out of their eyes.
Yeah,
they weren't lasers. What were they, Philip?
Were they concussive?
They were concussive force beams. We got the rights to it now, man. That's our first view of Cyclops.
But yeah, I just wonder,
ruby quartz.
I just wonder what happened to those agents because most of them lived through that. So it's like, what happened to them after the 80s?
Philip, we're in the 80s next week.
I thought they were going back to the future.
No, not yet.
Oh no,
no, they do 2 episodes in each time period.
Okay.
I've been watching. I've been paying attention, and yeah, so we had 2 in the 30s. 2 in the 40s. 2. Did we have 2 in the 40s?
Well, I don't think we did the 40s. Didn't we go right from the?
No, we did the 50s. We did the
yeah.
50s. Did we do? I think I want to say there were 2 in the with Sousa. No, I think we just did one with Sousa in the 50s, and then we did the 70s, and we had 2 in the 70s.
No, we did 2 in the 50s because remember the one where he supposedly gets killed in the pool was the second one.
Oh, that was the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
They were on that base in the first one, and then the second one was them, faking his death.
Yes. Okay. So we had 2 in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 2 in the 30s, 2 in the 50s, 2 in the 70s. Ooh, 20-year jump. Now we're in the 10-year jump with the 80s, which means after next week we're going to the 90s. And it wouldn't surprise me if we brush up at the very end of it with the Avengers formation, and oh wow, wouldn't it be interesting if they're in there and then we actually get the Endgame footage running in the background?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So you get like original Avengers, then you get Endgame. It's like, wait a minute. So it's sort of like in the same way they did with the Avengers, with all of the Avengers showing up, and we see all the stuff happening in the background. Suddenly, there's Romulo, and there's
just time travelers everywhere.
Yeah, and that's when Kang shows up and says, "Dude." Well, and that of course is exactly when you have to have Fitz show up and say, "Time variance authority. We've got to put an end to this."
Yeah, they're going to show up in that footage from Endgame, just like the Avengers. So once we get to Loki, they're going to be like, "Yeah, man, that Battle of New York, man, that's a temporal hotspot, man. You know how many time travelers have been there, mucking with that day."
Exactly. And for what it's worth, the time stone's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Ancient One has it. She's on the roof, picking off Chitauri with her magic. Which is just crazy, but it's fun,
Yeah. But hey, you want to shift gears and talk Stargirl?
Sure, let's talk Stargirl. And spoils for the next episode. You want to be honest? Spoilers for the next episode. They're gonna, as predicted, Brainwave's gonna do a face turn.
Oh yeah.
Because Brainwave's a little overwhelmed by all this nonsense. Because for whatever else, he was not an abused, cast off, person from society. He was just a dude.
I mean, I didn't read all those books, but I think like he worked with what was it, the All-Star Squadron? He worked with Infinity Inc. I think he was working as a good guy, and then I think eventually his powers would drive him insane.
Yeah, you had mentioned that last episode. Yeah, and I do think, but because the next episode after the one we've seen is going to be called Brainwave or Brainwave Junior. Yeah. And it is just this idea of that, and I do get that idea that they're just going to cause come back and that you are going to get this idea of him joining with them, and of course that. And what I got to say about Stargirl is just Shiv's nonchalance about being friends with Stargirl was just awesome.
Yes.
It's because, of course, she knows the whole time. Stargirl knows the whole time, but she doesn't know that Shiv knows.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And Shiv is like sitting there taking one bite out of every chocolate, which is such a great little. That's actually a Kids in the Hall reference for those who don't know.
But yeah, she's like, oh yeah, she's like, yeah, I know who you are, Stargirl, but I'm not going to tell my dad. I don't want him to bench me.
Yes, but they're taking one bite out of every chocolate. That is a Kids in the Hall reference. If those of you who don't remember that episode, watch every single episode of Kids in the Hall. When you see it, you'll know it.
Oh, it might be the next 2 episodes, because the next episode is Brainwave, and the episode after is Brainwave Jr.
Oh, well, there we go. So there we go. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot going on with Stargirl. I enjoy it. It is.
Oh, I got this. All right. What did you think? We find out who Icicle blames for his wife's death.
Corporations.
Well, that's specifically that one, wasn't it? Who was like burying the toxic waste or whatever.
Well, but I get the feeling. I get the feeling that was one of them. He now is like on his quest to make everything right forever through mind control.
Yes.
And that's clearly his thing. And I wonder if we're going to get kind of a face turn with Icicle in this. This idea that they're setting him up to be kind of a Doctor Doom kind of character here.
Yeah.
Where he wants to take over the world only because you guys don't understand.
I'm going to help America. I'm going to make it better.
Well, yeah, you don't understand that you guys are screwing it up so badly. We have to destroy it all. Yeah. We have to control it. We need an Emperor Doom scenario. They're basically doing Emperor Doom.
Well, yeah,
I'm going to control the world through mind control, and that way we'll make everything right forever.
What do you mean, just regular Doom? It's just like, I got to roll with an iron fist and I got to control it all, but it's for the good of the people.
Yeah, but they're literally doing Emperor Doom.
Yeah.
If you've ever read that book, Emperor Doom. I gotta see if that's on my Marvel Unlimited. I would love to read that again. Emperor Doom, where Doom basically takes the Purple Man, puts him in a machine.
Yep. Poor
Purple Man. And now you just always imagine that it's David Tennant too. Poor Purple Man just stuck in that machine because Doom is going to use him to control the world, and he does it. That's the thing. He does it. So that's his plan, and we're going to have to see how that plays out with Icicle, who they're setting up to be a Doctor Doom, which I think would be awesome. This guy who sees himself as a noble hero. Mm-hmm. We also get our first introduction to Grundy in this. Well, not our first introduction, but we get the JSA first meets Grundy. And as predicted, it is Dr. Midnight who sees Grundy. But they don't have an interaction. They don't have a real interaction. But that they have the first interaction, I think, is laying that groundwork for Grundy and Dr. Midnight joining forces.
Oh, yeah, because I think anyone else would be too aggressive towards him. Yeah, Beth's just going to be like, oh, do you want
Beth is going to be... Beth is awesome in this. I love Beth throughout it. Of course, they stole the I guess not Nazi, but Japanese scientists, picture, which is actually her father, as it's sort of suggested there, that he's actually kept himself alive through insane experiments.
That's why I wanted to know if he's just holding that, the wife hostage, or did he create her or something?
Yeah. Well, I like the idea that was mad at her because she's an independent teen, and which is another thing where it's like when Shiv reaches out to Stargirl, you do kind of get the idea that, and where she says, I'm not going to tell my father who you are, because it's something I now have power over. It's something that I can have. And again, this idea, like Icicle, where, there might be a semi-face turn where they're not going to cotton to everybody else's ideas of supervillainy. And they're not going to want to necessarily be supervillains in the way that these people traditionally have been supervillains.
I just wondered if, like, just like the Justice Society, if the Injustice Society was going to get mostly taken out by the end of the season. So, like, by the time season 2 starts, it's going to be like the teenagers versus the teenagers.
Well, yeah, and again, it's going to be who's going to be the good guys, who's going to be the bad guys. Because not for nothing, our man is primed to be a bad guy too.
Yeah,
you know, but the problem is, and this is literally the problem. Everybody is redemptive, with the exception of the old line hard nose supervillains. They're all probably redemptive in some way or another.
Well, I just wonder if they're going to go the Lex Luthor way with Shiv and just be like, you know, she reaches out and Courtney doesn't, like, you know, reciprocate. And she's like, yeah, I wanted to be your friend and you just pushed me away. So I'm going to be evil.
Yeah. Only if she goes bald. Yeah, I'm glad that the Star staff is fine. Yeah, and of course, you know, Shiv did steal her father's staff, and I think it got broken. Did it get broken in that fight?
Maybe. I'm trying to remember.
It's in 2 pieces, and I got the feeling it wasn't supposed to be in 2 pieces. Because at first when I saw this, wait, did I miss something? Was that the cosmic staff got broken in half? But no, it was just cosmic staff is fine. And yeah, I mean, it was neat on a lot of levels, and you know, superheroes being superheroes. It was good. I really liked Stargirl.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's certainly not the. It is light fare. That's the thing. I don't want anyone to go into this thinking this is War and Peace. This is very light fare, but it's an enjoyable light fare. It is a cupcake. It is a really good cupcake.
And it got renewed for season 2. It's leaving DC Universe and it's going to be exclusively on CW.
Yeah, well, you know, because that's their pay streaming app. Nobody is on DC Universe. I'm sorry.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. Every show except for Titans is like gets somewhere else.
Yeah,
now. Like,
because DC Universe is going to have to live on its comic books the same way that Marvel Universe does.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be the Marvel Unlimited on that side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be and I mean, they may be able to put on TV shows there too, which would be great if Marvel Unlimited did that. I'd love, me, I want my Red Brown Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
They want to give me some of that streaming. I would be like, put that on the phone, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got it all like the animated stuff on DC Universe, and like Batman the animated series. I think some of the older Super Friends might be on there too. I think, but that '90s Flash is on there. So yeah, maybe if they keep stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, there's stuff like that, and and that's like Boomerang. It's like if you want old school content, they have the old school content. So there you go. Anyway, but
you want to hit some comics?
Let's hit some comics before I fall asleep here.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick. Let's talk my one DC book.
Yes.
Harley Quinn
74. Ooh, you got a different cover than me.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Is this one? It's the Angel and the Devil saying, "Yeah, cool, do that."
I mean, sometimes they just do different They do more than one cover though, too.
You know what disappoints me about this?
Huh?
This is the penultimate issue, but the story's resolved, and the next one is this. Apparently, now I know it's the Joker War tie-in.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I gotta watch a Joker War. Okay.
I mean,
does she hit Punchline with a crowbar? Then that'll be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what it's. We'll see.
I do not like Punchline, but I really liked this.
Well, yeah,
and like I said, what I love
wrestling. I knew you'd like this story.
Yeah, and again, like I said, they totally channel Ben Grimm into her. She is very much, she's first off, she's not making there's like no real sexual innuendos in this.
Uh-uh.
There's nothing, in any way bogue. She goes up and does her fight. She really strikes me as a cross between Squirrel Girl and Ben Grimm. because there's a major Squirrel Girl vibe going on with her, with beating up Granny Goodness for the second time apparently.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad Sam Humphries is leaving this title because like I was like the team before him, they were just like me and Lil said, too many Beaver jokes. They kind of sexualized Harley too much, but no, I mean it's it's like you're getting a Squirrel Girl, Ben Grimm vibe. Sometimes I get a good Deadpool vibe off this, so it's like
and well, here's what I'll say: all the fourth wall breaks are all 1/3. They're all 1/3 profiles.
Yes.
Which means she's looking at the camera, but she's not looking at the camera. She could be looking at someone next to her.
Oh my Lord! I don't know. When we're done, I'll have to go get the issue numbers for you. But there was a couple issues a few months back where like there was 1 or 2 issues where she's just making fun of Year the villain.
Yeah. Oh, and look, we get Granny Goodness when she was young and beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So that was nice. And she had to kill her dog Mercy, who basically Darkseid tells her to kill. Because Darkseid, which is, Darkseid, why be it? Yes. I get it. Basically the man's got too much of the anti-life equation in his own gullet. That's the problem.
DC Thanos. It's like, it's going to do what it's going to do.
He's not even, don't even give me his DC Thanos. He's, I don't know Darkseid's motivation. I said, what if everyone was miserable? That seems literally to be his thing.
I mean, he wants to conquer basically everything, and how's he do it? He's going to conquer through misery.
Yeah, it seems lousy. The Dead Mom Joke Club, that is just really powerful at the end.
Oh yeah, because she's been working through that for probably the last year maybe. Yeah,
now we learn who Rip Hunter's mom is.
Oh yes, because we get a cute little scene with Booster and Harley at the end.
Yeah, I'm totally shipping this, and this seems like a real legitimate relationship. It's not Booster Gold's sister, which was really scary when they suggested that Booster was Rip Hunter's father, and they were like really showing the closeness between him and his sister as time travelers. We didn't come here for Star Wars, DC.
But yeah,
but this seems like two people as equals coming together, working through all the stuff they're working through, and I love this.
I hope they pick this. Somebody picks this back up somewhere.
And for what it's worth, this would have been a great way to end the issue, but we needed to tie into apparently a war of Jokers because everything's Batman or the Joker.
Every tangential Batbook has to tie into that stupid thing.
Agents of Wakanda.
Oh yes.
This was interesting, especially just with the dragon lore we get with it. I like the idea that, first off, as a millennia-old dragon, Fin Fang Foom is going through an existential, a midlife crisis, where he's like, what do I want to be? And I have all this anger, I have all this fear, I have this loathing, and then essentially vomits out versions of himself that are his emotional dealios.
Yes.
And that is honestly, it's a brilliant concept. I mean, one can certainly argue it's a cliched concept.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not going to say we haven't seen, what if my personality aspects split out and maybe we're stronger together? It's been done. It is being done, but it was done here, and I thought it worked out nicely. I liked Foom and Brew bonding.
Mm-hmm.
This was a really good Brew book. If you are a fan of Super Genius Mutant Brew, that was pretty awesome. And then, of course, we get the Warriors 3. Still no Volstagg. They replaced Volstagg with a woman.
Oh, he's a
senator. I don't mind.
He's a senator now.
Granted, he had to retire. Well, and also, is he still laid up from being a war Thor?
I don't know, but he's just, he's an important politician now.
Yeah, man has had a rough life, but now they have Brunhilde as the third, who I love. I want Brunhilde in, because all the Warriors 3 are dead. We need new Warriors 3.
Yeah.
So I do want a new Warriors 3 in Love and Thunder.
Charlie Esser, where'd you go? I can't see you.
You can't see me? Oh, Did I cover my thing? There we go. That's because
where?
Empyre 4 was in the way. Sorry, Empyre 0 or Empyre Fantastic Four 0. But yeah, I liked Agents of Wakanda a lot. It's it's a good book, and it's going to fold into the now Invasion Wakanda. And I'm actually kind of annoyed because I kind of want to read Widowmaker, but I have no idea when that's coming out now.
Yeah, because
or if it is.
It says April. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, there was supposed to be a new Black Widow #1 too in April. That never happened. So I'm assuming I'm assuming both of those are probably gonna be closer to November.
Yes, but Agents of Wakanda is cool. It's being wrapped into now the agent or the invasion of because Wakanda's getting invaded again.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about Wakanda. Like Ethiopia, it gets invaded, but it is your death knell if you do. So that's the thing. It's been invaded, never conquered. It used to be never conquered and pretty much never invaded.
Yes.
In recent years, they've gotten invaded a lot more, but they're still never conquered. So they've made Wakanda's history a little closer to actual Ethiopian history in that sense. Ethiopia, incidentally, the actual true home of the Ark of the Covenant, for those in the know. And arguably, that's why they've never been conquered. Those in the know.
But yeah, I mean, I love this book, especially more than the Avengers Empire. I mean, because like we said, I don't think a lot happened in that Avengers one. But I mean, this one, it's, you get a road trip.
I think a lot happened in the Avengers. Mostly the Avengers got played for suckers by the Cody. And
I think it was a lot more talky. I mean, you got action in this one. Road trip, the gladiator fights.
I like the fact that apparently Ben is just wearing the cast as an aesthetic. He just thought it looked cool.
As bling. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like that's a vibranium cast. Like, yeah, well, I got that when I punched out the Hulk. I was keeping that as a souvenir.
I mean, I guess like brass knuckles or something,
Yeah, honestly. Although when you're made of rock, what good is brass knuckles?
Well, it might be give you a harder punch. I don't know, but yeah, and when he took it off, I'm like, oh man, is his arm going to be messed up? But yeah, no, he's just wearing it.
He's fine. He's fine. He punched out the Hulk. One punched the Hulk.
Oh,
because really, when the chips are down, when actually it matters, thing's the strongest one there is.
Ooh.
Just because he don't use it all the time, just because he's not always smashing things, just because he's not all getting angry. When he's got to protect someone he loves, you ain't stopping the thing. But all those stories where they suggest the thing was killed by Dr. Doom, don't believe any of them. You might have took his arm, but you didn't take the thing. Headcanon forever. So in this book we have essentially, and this is what I love about this, is because we essentially reestablished the Future Foundation. Because they're the first family. That is what the Fantastic Four is. It is a family. And it is a family that adopts crazy orphans and somehow makes it way more wholesome than when Bruce Wayne does it. Phil, did you freeze? Okay, one of us froze. Phil, are you frozen or am I? Let me see. Someone just texted me. Yep. Okay. Oh, your power went out. Okay. Oh, goodness. I just realized I'm still live. Right now, I'm texting Phil to ask if he wants me to continue without him. Continue with... Oh, you. So anyway, like I was saying, with Empyre Fantastic Four number 0, what is really fascinating about it is that the Fantastic Four are a family, and they are adopting in this new group of superhumans because, of course, if you read this book. So, okay, if you haven't read the book, spoilers for the book. We open up with essentially the Grandmaster's sister, and you've been waiting for her. I don't know if this is her first appearance or not, but we have the Profiteer. I love her. She's awesome. She is essentially a businesswoman, all about the business, how to make money. And essentially, she has created a situation where the Kree-Skrull War will go on forever. Expressly because, as it turns out, the Kree-Skrull War is the one thing that was keeping the galactic economy running. Because we find out, essentially, when the Fantastic Four run out of gas on a random asteroid, as you do, I'm just telling Phil, I'm finishing the book. I'm finishing the book review. I'll do the plugs. Anyway. So the Kree-Skrull War has been the lingua franca, the economic stimulus for the galaxy for generations, because it is a generations long thing. It was the one thing you could count on. No matter what happened, the Krees and the Skrull would always fight, would always war, yada yada yada. But it has now ended, as we all know, because little Hulkling has united the Kree and the Skrull as the King of Space. But the Profiteer has been basically keeping the Kree-Skrull War going because she purchased 2 little kids, 2 little Damian Waynes, 1 Kree, 1 Skrull, to duke it out for eternity, which was delightful. Well, not delightful, but awful. But apparently, because the Fantastic Four needs to fix their ship, they hear that there's a all-comers match at the Profiteer's casino, the Casino Cosmo. They go there and they decide to enter Ben Grimm into the fight so that he can, essentially win enough money to get the ship fixed. Yada, 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 yada. The Fantastic Four realize what's going on. Val and Franklin have a fun adventure in the casino. Val's big brain is not enough to beat casinos because that's how casinos work. Sue Storm has to go in and basically help them cheat so they can win enough money to buy the casino, because they basically break the bank at the casino. And because at that time, Mr. Fantastic is trying to get into the control room, and Johnny and Ben are doing their own thing with the kids, they essentially create what amounts to a way to end the Kree-Skrull War within the false Kree-Skrull War. And for those of you curious, this is actually not an unheard of concept. At Coney Island, they used to recreate battles as a public sporting event. They would have They would have the Boer War. They would have a bunch of Zulu warriors come in, and then have a bunch of Boers come in, and they'd fight, and then, that would happen. They would recreate Civil War battles and Indian War battles and the whole nonsense. So that was something that was a real thing in human history being reproduced now on this cosmic stage. Anyway, when they finish it, basically, Ben and Johnny realize it's just kids they're being asked to fight. They get the kids out. And they basically leave, going back to Earth with these two kids who are essentially now this recreated future foundation, because that's what the Fantastic Four do. They are at first a family. And when kids are hurting, they're going to adopt them, bring them in. And, they're going to adopt their wayward sociopathic orphans and do way better by them than freaking Bruce Wayne would. So that is a positive thing. Okay, so let me get us out of here. Phil is gone, but I'm going to give you his social media. If you'd like to talk to Phil and say, Phil, why is Charlie just rambling on and on and on and on and on when you have gone well to bed by now? You can write to him in that old-fashioned email way at capesandlunatics@gmail.com. That's capesandlunatics, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, you can follow Super Connectivity on Twitter. We have a Twitter handle. I don't use it much, but you can follow, let's get to the Twitter in a moment. Also, you can call us on the old voicemail. That's 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can just leave us a message to tell us how far we went off the rails this week. And if you are bored with this show or bored with life in general, and you want a big stimulus, why don't you go over to hunterkiller.com and help out Investigator Michelle Gray solve a cold case. She could use your help, quite frankly. She's having a rough go. Meanwhile, over at Tweaked, that's TWEAKED audio.com, they're having the 2020 sale. Get 20% off for a limited time. Other discounts may apply. Shop the sale when you go over there. And, of course, you can always go down in our links, find the Amazon link in our show notes. That'll take you to Amazon from us. There you can buy Pod Life the book, or you can not buy Pod Life the book if you really don't care about podcasting, in which case, while you're listening to this show. But anything else you buy, and it'll help out the community as a whole. Now, if you want to talk to me personally, write to me that old-fashioned email way, the way our Moz and Paz once did, at the turn of the century, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, because it comes on late. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIEESSER. Look for the two E's in the middle for quality. Ping. Thank you, Charlie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of Super Connectivity. Thank you for powering it through with me. Please, super connect with me again next week. Good night. By the way, I just want to say, this is why having your Wi-Fi on its own battery and your laptop on its own battery is an advantage, because if the power were to go out right now, I would still be online just fine. So, just saying. Good night, everybody.